it's Tuesday, February 25th, and I'm just leaving school, and I had 3 quizzes. Well, I had 2 quizzes and a test today, and I had them in prevention, pathology, and a test in radiology, and literally, I am not joking, this was like the laziest I've ever studied for a day that I had 3 quizzes. Like literally yesterday was the first day I even started studying for all 3 of them, and I just like studied some Quizlets and like homework questions that we've had and stuff like that, and called it a day. And somehow I did really well on all 3 classes, and I have no idea how. Like in prevention was our first one this morning, and I got 100% on that one. And then we had pathology, and I missed 1 out of 20 questions. And then we had an exam, a 40-point exam in radiology, and I got 100%. And I literally don't even know how this went so well. So I'm really thankful, especially for radiology, because like I said before, that's a class that I have been kind of struggling with. So to get 100% on that test was awesome. I had a B in the class before the test, and now technically I still have a B, but I have like a 90 point something. So there's a chance I can get an A in radiology. I just have to keep doing well. But yeah, my Dexter competency obviously is what dropped my grade, because I did terrible on it with an 82 point something or like an 83. But I have my real human competency on Thursday, and I'm really hoping that that goes well. And if it does, my grade should be better. But if it doesn't go well, like if I fail it, obviously I'm gonna redo my human competency. But if I like pass but just didn't do like super awesome on it, then I think I'm gonna take the risk and do my Dexter competency again, because I think I can do better on it. I just didn't want to if I didn't have to, because it's my last attempt, and if I do really bad on it, like that's my grade, because they take your last attempt. So I'm gonna kind of see what happens on Thursday. I really don't want to redo my competency, but there's been quite a few people that haven't done well on their human competency, so I don't know, because it's a lot more work to redo that one than the Dexter, obviously. We're just gonna see what happens, but I'm feeling really good about today. I honestly don't know how I got A's, let alone like getting to 100%. I honestly have no idea. It was a nice confidence booster. I think the universe knew that I needed something, because I was feeling really down about radiology, and so I was able to do well today. And then this is so exciting. Today our instructor released our schedule for next term. So next term is when we see our patient, like real patients, for the first time, and I can't believe that's coming. So I'll see my first patient in April, and some clinics you'll be a sterile tech or a clinic assistant. So the sterile tech is obviously in sterilization, and then the clinic assistant is just there in the clinic to help out. So it's just helping out your classmates during clinic, or like flipping rooms in radiology. If someone goes in there to take radiographs, then you can like clean the room and get it ready for the next person. So it's just someone helping out, making sure everything is going smoothly in clinic. So typically you'll be one of those, you'll be sterile tech and clinic assistant once in the term. Usually maybe you'll only be one, or maybe you'll be a little bit more. On those days you don't see patients, you're just one of the assistants. So we know what days we'll be doing that. We also have a couple dry clinics, which means we don't have patients. We're just learning something in clinic, but there's only a couple of those. So I'm really excited. I counted all the days that I have an actual patient in my chair, or that I'm supposed to anyways, and that's going to be 14 appointments for spring term. So each person is going to take quite a few appointments, when it's our first term, it can take between 4 and 5, and that's really normal when it's your first term in our program to complete somebody. So super exciting knowing when we're going to be seeing our first patient. My first patient is going to be on April 7th. And then I'm one of the either tech or assistant in like the middle of the term, and then our last day that we would have patients, that's my other day of being either a sterile tech or a clinic assistant. So I'll be done with clinic a little bit earlier than other people because that's on Thursday of the last week, and Tuesday of that week it's like one of our days that we don't have patients because we're doing case study presentations. I don't know a whole lot about it yet, but take like one of your patients and you present on them like from beginning to end, like your treatment planning and process and all that kind of thing, anonymously. I'm pretty sure, considering that would be a HIPAA violation if it wasn't. But yeah, so it'll be on Tuesday the last week, and then Thursday the last week I'm one of the like assistants. So that's kind of nice that I'll be done seeing patients like a week before the last week of school. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, what I'm nervous about right now is my competency on Thursday. I have lab tomorrow because my normal radiology lab is on Wednesdays, but we have a Thursday night lab that has extra spots, and so that's when I scheduled my patient because it was easier for them to come in Thursday night than Wednesday, like in the middle of the day. So I have tomorrow to just practice in radiology before I have my competency on Thursday. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, I will let y'all know how tomorrow goes with everything and how I feel after lab tomorrow. Guys, it is Wednesday and I just am now leaving school. It's 5:15 and I just got out of radiology lab, and so I've talked about how I did on my Dexter competency in my previous videos, and they were not awesome. We get 3 attempts and they take your last attempt, so not your best attempt. They don't average them or anything. It's just whatever one you do last, that is your grade, and it's worth 100 points. So I had already done 2. My last attempt, which was my best attempt, was an 82%. And today we were practicing, taking radiographs and all that kind of stuff. And I was gonna wait until after my human competency, which is tomorrow, to see if I wanted to risk going for my last attempt or not. So, but I don't know. I just felt like doing it today. Like earlier in the lab, it actually wasn't going great. I had this Dexter, which Dexters are fake heads. The Dexter I had was just not going well, but he was kind of like a really crappy Dexter, and I literally started crying because I was like, my human competency is tomorrow and I'm doing awful on this Dexter right now. Like, how am I gonna be ready for tomorrow? But then I switched to a good Dexter and things started going a lot better. And then also I started using PA tabs, like bite tabs for PAs and bite wings, which before I was not using bite tabs for either of them. And I swear that made all of the difference in the entire world. And I was also looking at my overall grade in the class yesterday, and I have like a 91 or something like that, and a 92 in our program is the lowest you can get for an A, so like a 91.9 is a B. So the human competency, like I would have to do really, really, really good on it, like almost 100% to like have a chance of getting an A in the class, since they're both worth 100 points. So they're worth a lot of your grade. So I was like, probably if I don't take this again, there's probably no chance that I could get an A in the class. So I figured I would just risk it. She was like pretty impressed with my guts, because getting to your third attempt like kind of sucks, because that's it. That's whatever you get is your grade. But I went in with the mentality of like, just pretend that we didn't have 3 attempts. Like, just think of it like this is a test and your grade is your grade. Just like any other test, you usually don't get multiple chances. It's just, you know, you take it and that's your grade. So I just kind of thought about it like that, and I just felt a lot more comfortable. Like, I swear, like, it was pretty risky, honestly, doing my last attempt with using tabs, considering that was really the first time I had really used tabs, which if you don't take radiographs, you probably don't know what I'm talking about when I say bite tabs. They can be harder for people to use, or they can be, you know, better for you. And I think it was better for me because there's less going on and I can just, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, this is going well and I feel like I can do my competency right now and do better. And I got a 92. I'm so proud of myself. Like, a 92, sure, not the best grade in the entire world, but technically, you know, even in the program, that's an A. So I feel so good about that, because an 82 in my program, which was my grade before that, is a C because of how our 8-point scale works. So I went from a C to an A. I increased by 10%, which is amazing. So I'm really proud of myself. It was definitely risky, but now I feel even more confident about going into my human competency tomorrow. I'm still super nervous about it, but you know, that's normal. I feel like that was the little bit of confidence boost that I needed for tomorrow. So hopefully things go well tomorrow. Yeah, I'm really nervous, but I think, you know, I'm gonna do what I can. I really hope I just at least get a B, because I don't even know if I'd retake it, honestly, if I even got a C on it, because it's a lot of stress. And that's why I wanted to improve my Dexter competency grade, because I wanted to give myself a little more leeway with my human. Yeah, I really don't want to have to retake it, but a few people have, just because they haven't passed. So I'm just really hoping to pass. Like, I would love to do better than passing. Like, I would love to get an A on it somehow. Even a B I would be super excited about. So I really hope I do okay tomorrow. I can't believe I cried. I literally cried for my instructor for like 5 seconds. I was like, I'm sorry. But she's so nice. I gotta go home. I have to study a little bit because I do have a quiz tomorrow and seminar. And I have a report due tomorrow, our final wellness report, which I didn't do yesterday like I said I was going to do. So I have to do that today. I'll let you guys know tomorrow how that goes. I'm currently bawling in our break room because I completely failed my competency. And I don't know, just everything went wrong. My computer for the Remozen didn't work at first, and so I had to change rooms. And then my patient was just, it was just more challenging person to do for your first set of x-rays, and I just completely failed. Luckily I could take it again, but it really sucks. Okay guys, a little update. I'm not a sobbing mess anymore. It's actually been a few days since my failure. That was Thursday night, and now it's actually Tuesday of the next week. So where we're at right now, all weekend I was frantically trying to find someone to do my competency on again, and it took me until last night to get someone scheduled. Like, everyone, I swear, has already had a recent like full mouth series, so I couldn't use like hardly anybody at all. And some of the upperclassmen were like saying I could come into their lab or like come into their clinic and take extras for them on their patients, and like my instructor said that would be fine. But just like the thought of that like stresses me out, and I already have failed my competency the first time, and so I don't want to put myself in a more stressful situation than it already is. So I'd rather like have someone actually come into my lab instead of like jumping into an actual clinic. And also, since my first one didn't go great, I would prefer to do it on somebody that I know, just because it would be more comfortable for me. Obviously I know I'm gonna have to work on strangers, but for my first like major test for taking radiographs, I'd rather use somebody that I'm more comfortable with. I will be sure to update you all on how that goes. I'm really just trying to get a passing grade on it at this point. I don't really care if I do awesome. I mean, I want to, but I just don't want to fail. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, even with my failing score, which is in my grade right now, I have a B in the class, so I've done well enough in the class overall that obviously I'm gonna pass the class no matter what, even if I didn't redo it. But I want to feel competent doing x-rays, since we're gonna be seeing real patients very soon, in about a little over a month, like a month and 3 days or 4 days or something like that. So really soon, and if your patients need x-rays, you're gonna have to take them. So I don't want my only experience that I've taken x-rays on a real person to be a really bad experience. I won't go into details about it because some people know who my patient was, but it was just a more challenging person to take x-rays on for my first time, and so it just was a big struggle. And then even like aside from that, I had problems with the room that I was in to take the x-rays on. So when I got everything set up before I brought my patient back, and made sure the machine was on, made sure my computer was all ready to go and synced up with the sensor, and that everything was good and all that stuff, and then I took my first image and nothing happened. And sometimes it happens if like your preferences weren't set right, so like your sensor settings were messed up, or I don't know, something like that, or like you forgot to turn your machine on, or silly stuff like that. But I made sure all of that was good, and so I was very confused why nothing happened. And so I got my instructor and I was like told her what happened. I was like, hey, I already exposed an image, but nothing happened, everything's on and whatever. And she's like, okay, maybe there's just a problem with the sensor that you're using, so let's grab you a new one. So then she went to a different room and took the sensor out, and I swapped it for the one in my room, and then it still wasn't working. And so there was just some problem with the computer, was just like not acknowledging the sensor for some reason. We don't really know what the problem was, so it already started kind of in a stressful situation. So I had to pick up and go to a different room and get that room all set up. So like I kind of started in just like a bad headspace, I guess. And we have like you should be comfortable in all the rooms, obviously, because you never know what room you're gonna have to do. But for our competencies, we have 2 rooms that are better than the rest of them. They're new machines, and a lot of the other ones are older, and like the 2 head will move slightly after you place it. So there's just rooms that if you're taking competency, like those are the rooms that you want to use. And so obviously I was in one of those rooms and then had to be put in like a not good room because someone was taking competency in the other good room. So that already started like that. And then I already knew after doing my exam of my patient's mouth that it was already going to be a struggling case for me. So just everything went bad. I've had a few days to kind of get over it. Obviously I'm upset and wish I would have passed the first time, but I'm not the only person that failed their first attempt. That's why we have 3. We're learning. This is the first time we've ever done it on a real person. Real people are way different than fake Dexter heads. So yeah, I've just kind of come to terms with it. I'm kind of over the failure at this point. I just am now just worried about tomorrow because I don't want to fail again. So, but that's where I'm at. But some positives of this week was this week in clinic we had this big assessment. So usually in clinic, you have a partner that you have for the week and you'll work on them practicing whatever we're doing that week for half the time, and then you'll switch and then they'll use the second half of the clinic. But for this week, we were doing a full assessment on our patient, pretty much what you do with your first appointment with a real patient that we'll be doing next term, which is like medical history and vitals and all that stuff, and then like extra oral exam and intra-oral exams. And then you would check their occlusion and say what kind of occlusion that you think that they have. You would do a gingival description, like periodontal charting, and then there's like other stuff, like smaller things that you can do in the first appointment that we didn't do, but those are all the things that we did for our big like assessment. So one person was the clinician on one day, and then that other partner was just the patient for the whole time. You were like, if you were to have a full clinic time. And then, so I did it on Monday, and then on Wednesday I'll be the patient for my partner, and then they'll do a full assessment on me. And that went really well. I got 100% on it, so that really boosted my confidence because I was feeling really down. So I'm really glad something went good for me. I've been doing really well in clinic. Like I've said in, I think, my last video, everyone's going to struggle in different parts of the program, and some parts you're not going to struggle, and everyone's going to be different. So I've done really good in clinic. I've got 100% all my evaluations in clinic this term, which is wild to me. Obviously, radiology, my competencies have been challenging for me, which sucks, but you know, that's something that I'm gonna work on and I'm gonna improve on, and that's why this program is designed the way that it is. That's why I have a couple years to get everything figured out and learn. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Sorry, this video also took longer to go up. I just felt instead of doing like a bunch of weekly updates, I would just make one video about, you know, what the most important thing that's been going on. And also it's just, I've been really stressed out lately, and so I just had no desire to like film and edit recently, just because I've just been really stressed. It's really stressful trying to find someone to come in. So yeah, like I couldn't get myself to do that, but that's really it. And hopefully tomorrow goes better than last week, so I will let you guys know. So you can probably tell by the smile on my face that this time went so much better. I am just so thankful that I passed. I got an 82, which is not like amazing or anything. Technically that's a C, but I don't even care. Honestly, I was happy to get like anything in the 70s. Like, I was just wanting to do just better than a straight up F. Like, the first time was so bad, and I just, even if I kept that in my grade, since I'd done well in the class overall, I still had a B in the class. But so like I could have just left it and like got a B in the class and whatever, even though I want an A. Still trying to get an A. I'm like, I have a 90 point something now, and a 92 is an A, so I'm so close. But anyways, it really doesn't matter what grades you get as long as you pass. I just wanted to have a human experience that actually went well and felt like I was competent enough to take x-rays, because we're starting to see real patients next term. So in a month and 3 days I'll have my first real patient, and I want to feel comfortable taking x-rays. So that's the main reason I retake it, besides the fact that I wanted a better grade. So yeah, I'm so happy. I've been crying for like a week, I feel like I honestly thought that I failed again, because a lot of my x-rays weren't like perfect. Like in a lot of them I found like things that I could do better on, and obviously that's why I got an 82 and not like 100%, you know, like there's some things I missed, but yeah, so I was happy with an 82, honestly. Like, I will take it. And I have such a migraine, like, I don't know, I've just been so stressed. Like, I started crying a little bit, and I'm not a crier, like, I'm not an often crier, but this week I've been an emotional wreck. Like, literally so bad. I just like started tearing up, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, I feel like it went better than last time, but I still don't feel like it was that great. And she was going through and she goes, this actually, like, it looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm so thankful. I was like, thanks for dealing with my emotional self, because I've been bawling But yeah, she's like, I feel bad. There's been a lot of tears in radiology. So it's something that's challenging. So yeah, definitely there are other people that have been struggling as well. I'm just so glad that's over. So yeah, all my hard competencies and skill evals for this term are finally done. Thank the Lord. I have a presentation tomorrow, and then I've got like a couple quizzes left, and then finals. So next week is our last week of like regular classes. Like next week is dead week, and then after that we have finals, and then have a little break. Me and my husband are driving down to Arizona to see my grandma, and then it'll be spring term, and I'll be seeing patients in clinic. I can't believe it. I literally was like, so my normal lab, which is what I was in today, is Wednesdays at 2. But for my last competency, I went into the Thursday lab because that worked better for her. And that's a different instructor. And then today I was asking her if like they chatted and if she told her that I was like a hysterical sobbing mess like in my last competency. And she's like, no, she didn't tell me that. And I was like, oh, well, let me tell you all about it. I was terrible, and I was like, let's just like, because I'm the type of person, like, I laugh at myself all the time. Like, I hate failure, but I learned to accept it after. You got to give me some time, give me a few days, and I'm like, okay, like, I just pick myself back up and you move on. And that's something you have to do, especially in a program like this. Like, you're gonna fail at something probably, like, it's just happens. And you know, that's why you get multiple attempts. Like, these are things that we're doing that are hard and take real life experience to do. Like, that was the first time that I ever took x-rays on an actual person, and an actual person is a lot different than like a fake mouth. So yeah, I picked myself up. I know a lot of the x-rays were literally terrible, and I asked her, I was like, did you see them? Because they're laughable at how bad they are. Like, I'm like, let's pull them up and laugh together, shall we? And so I pulled them up, and we literally, like, because I know I can do better than that is the thing. Like, I know I'm better than that. So yeah, we were like dying laughing at some of my x-rays. Like, that's how bad that they were the first time. So there was none like that this time that I look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's so bad. Sorry, my videos have been less consistent lately. I did not want to be that person, because I remember watching videos when I was not in the program yet, and people would get busier through the program and not post as much. And I would be like, I don't want to be like that when I do this. Like, I want to be consistent, but it's hard. Like, I've just been too emotionally stressed to, like, do it. So I'm doing the best that I can. Here's the struggles I've been having lately. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will update you guys in my next video about how my term all winds down, and I will talk to you then. Bye!